Good evening. This is Jerusalem Jane coming to you with breaking news out of Israel. And as you can see in the background, the Israeli evening news is playing. Around 8:15 tonight, a terrorist affiliated with the terror organization Hamas got into his car with an automatic weapon, and he drove from his part of East Jerusalem to the Jewish part, Neuv Yaakov, it's called. It's very close. It's less than a 5 minutes drive. And he got out of his vehicle and he started shooting men, women, and children, Jewish people praying in a synagogue. He got out and he continued to shoot people. I saw the testimony from someone who said, I heard gunshot and I ran out to the street. And I saw a man lying on the street shot in the head. I saw a woman lying in the street shot. I saw someone who had passed in a motorcycle also shot. This terrorist got into his car and he started fleeing the scene, and he met a police officer and a security officer, and there was a gun battle going on, and they killed and neutralized this terrorist. This is the worst terror attack that we have had in Israel in many, many years. 7 people was murdered tonight on International Holocaust Memorial Day, while they should be in the sanctity of their synagogue, in their Jewish homeland, in the Jewish capital, Jerusalem. And yet this terrorist managed, because he came from the Shuafat area, he actually had Israeli ID, so he could move around freely. So he managed to just go in, plainly execute 7 people. 3 people are currently got into the hospital, injured. A 15-year-old boy is right now undergoing emergency surgery. Israel's defense minister is currently on a private visit in America, but he is going back to Israel with the first flight tonight. Israel's chief of police and security minister is currently at the scene of this horrendous crime. I was here on my couch. It's Shabbat, resting. I've been reporting today. I've made a long video update speaking about Holocaust Memorial Day and how the Jewish people are not safe living in their country today. And look what is happening tonight. Everything is tense and on high alert. Yesterday, Israeli Defense Forces went into Jenin, which is a terrorist nest. They had intel that there was a terrorist cell, terrorists coming from Islamic Jihad, who was getting ready to carry out a major terror attack. And they went in to arrest these terrorists, and they were met with heavy gunfire. And a gunfire is being exchanged, and 10 people were killed, and 9 out of those 10 people were terrorists. Plain and simple, terrorists who had already committed terror attack and who was planning on carrying out new attacks. And that's what happened. These were cold-blooded terrorists who was taking out in Jenin yesterday. Tonight, a terrorist got up with a weapon. He got into his car, and on Shabbat, on International Holocaust Memorial Day, he goes in and executes 7 civilians, women, men. I don't know if the report coming out about children also killed is accurate. It is highly likely. So it's breaking news on all major news channels down here in Israel. I apologize. So now 7 families has to bury their loved ones, murdered for no other reason than just being Jewish on International Holocaust Memorial Day. Like I said, 7 people were killed. This is the worst terror attack here in Israel for many, many years. And when I say worst, we have had heinous terror attack where people on Israel's Independence Day last year, several men was chopped down with machetes. We have shooting attack, we have ramming attacks, we have stoning attacks. but this was 7 people, 7 injured, murdered in one attack. And again, what you see behind me is Israeli media who is reporting live on the scene. Right now, of course, it all literally just happened about an hour ago. So right now we don't have the names, the faces, the ages of the people murdered in this heinous terror attack. But of course, I will keep you updated the best that I can. And I strongly encourage you to follow my new Telegram channel. Every single media platform I have is Jerusalem Jane, except on Facebook. My page is called Israel One Nation, but I am heavily restricted on Facebook. So I truly encourage you, follow my new Telegram channel. It's just between you and me. There is no censure. So let me just recap. A terrorist affiliated with Hamas went from the Shuafat neighborhood in East Jerusalem to the Neve Yaakov area, which is a Jewish area also in East Jerusalem. I used to pass that area when I was living outside the city a couple of months ago. And he went in and he plainly executed 7 people who was in the synagogue praying Shabbat prayers. He got out, got into his car and started fleeing, and he came across a police officer, 2 police officers, and there was a gun battle and he was killed. And already now we are seeing in Ramallah, in Silvan, in several Arab towns, they are out now celebrating, firing fireworks, handing out sweets because Jewish settlers were murdered. And of course Hamas, Islamic Jihad and all of these terrorist organizations are already out now celebrating and glorifying this attack. And of course this terrorist is now going to be a martyr, and there's going to be soccer stadium named after him and big posters is going to come up in the street, and his family is now going to be paid every month by the Palestinian Authority. Sick. So my heartfelt condolences, my sympathies goes out to the families of those 7 people who was brutally executed in a synagogue and on the streets today in the Jewish capital by a Palestinian terrorist for no other reason than just being Jewish. Please pray for those families that God may comfort them in this horrendous time of sorrow. And I'm praying for a speedy and quick recovery for the people who is undergoing emergency surgeries in the hospital right now. Please share out this video. You're probably not going to hear it on your mainstream media, and I will keep you updated. Please follow me on all my social media platforms. Good night.